Hi, I'm Justin Klein, and I sell and feature real estate in the Lehigh Valley in Bucks County. Today, we're at Braveheart Highland Pub in Hellertown, Pennsylvania. So I know I started here when it first opened, but you're gonna have to remind me exactly again when we opened.
We opened November 16th, 2006. Yeah, this will be going into this December, it'll be 12 years.
Take me back 12 years ago, right, even like a few months before you opened. What'd your friends think? What'd your family think going into opening a pub?
Everybody thought I was crazy.
So what made you think you could run a restaurant?
Didn't think. I didn't think.
Just did it?
Like every guy who likes to have a pint, they'd all love to own a bar.
Yeah.
So, but personally, I mean, my parents are from Scotland.
Uh-huh.
So, that had a big influence on what type of pub I wanted to have. I wanted to bring back Main Street America, which has kind of lost its vibe.
Yeah.
A lot of the strip malls had restaurants and malls had restaurants, but there was no really home base for small town America anymore. So, and that was the essence of the pubs back in the day in Scotland and Ireland and England. Sitting here in Hellertown, you wouldn't think you were in Hellertown. You'd think you're in, Edinburgh.
You came up with the name Braveheart. Can you tell me some of the horrible names that you had on the list? There had to be a couple that were just really bad.
Well, there were a couple, but I don't know if they were really bad. I think we had St. Andrew's Crossing was one.
Okay, so it's not bad.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, that was probably the one that was going, somebody called the Haggis. Somebody wanted to call the Haggis. I'm like, maybe get the Haggis. There's not one redeeming thing of Haggis.
Yeah.
Right? So, but I got kind of settled on Braveheart because I think it coincides with my mentality as far as being, fairly ambitious and brave and a person that has a heart that wants to make a change in our community. But also, more importantly, it was just it's a name people could relate to as Scottish.
Absolutely. What kind of advice would you give somebody that is looking to open up any business or even a restaurant specifically if you want to go that way?
Yeah, I mean any business, but they're all tied to the same. I mean the mentality's the same. You've got to have a good plan and you got to be very willing to change your plan because what you thought might work doesn't always work. I mean, from what we originally looked at this and then from where we started to where we are today, and you were actually very instrumental in this when we started to do a trivia night.
Yeah.
You actually are the one that started it.
I know, I was on the mic.
So, and that actually turned our business model around a little bit. And I don't think that was ever in the plan.
Yeah.
But then we've been voted the best trivia night in the Lehigh Valley. So I think you got to be very willing to take people's opinions and take people's advice and, weigh all the options and dabble in certain things until you find your way.
How big of a role does your staff play in the success you're having?
Absolutely huge. I mean, there again, I think initially even you, look at you, you're still trying to help the business on these kinds of things.
Yeah.
And you started out from day one, so 11 years ago.
Yeah.
The one thing I'm very proud of our staff. I think we've got a great nucleus of people. We've had people that have worked here from day one, but very little turnover.
Yeah.
You can't do it by yourself. You're naive and silly if you think you can. You can't, in my opinion, you can't micromanage. I think you got to let people be who they are, and that's why you hired them.
Yeah.
Very simple. Do a good job, work hard, be respectful, and be yourself.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And they spread the word. I mean, they're the advocates of the town. They're advocates of the business, and there's people that come in here just to see our staff.
Yeah.
Even they used to come in to see you, oddly enough.
Yeah, I know, that's weird. Some people don't realize this, but you're actually running for state representative this year.
Yeah, I'm a glutton for punishment.
Yeah, what prompted that?
Well, as a small business owner. As a small business owner and not seeing any value from the state and, really showing no leadership from the people that are supposed to be helping lead small business and lead our communities.
Yeah.
I've been asked for probably the last 5 or 6 years by multiple sources that I should get involved because I have a fairly good presence between this business and Taps Tavern.
Yeah.
I'm a big community advocate, and I'm one to start to lead and try to take initiative to make change. And so I'm a registered Democrat, but I'm far from, a left-wing crazy person.
Yeah.
I'm American. I want to see our country move in the right direction, and right now it's stalling, especially at the state level. So, with people's prodding and you know, saying you should do it. You have good backing. I've got a lot of Republican friends. As a matter of fact, the campaign is driven by Republicans and Democrats, showing that's bipartisan.
Yeah.
My campaign chair is a Republican.
Yeah.
Most of the money I've raised to this point has come from Republican people, because they're not Republican, they're not Democrat, they're Americans, and they want to see. You know, I don't put an R or a D in somebody's name. I establish what I think they are, and they become friends. And like I always use the analogy is, when the bullets start flying, I'm not caring if the guy to my left or the lady to my right has got an R or D.
Yeah.
We should be fighting in the same direction.
Yeah.
And we're not doing that.
Yeah.
We're not doing that in one step at all for our state.
And anybody that wants more info on that, where would they go?
Well, they could go to www.andylee4staterep.com. There's a website you can go, kind of give you a baseline of what I'm running on,
Sure.
my platform.
To see more of the Lehigh Valley and Bucks County brought to life through video, be sure to follow On the Go with Justin Klein on Facebook and Instagram.